people. Yeah, good. Thank you, Amrita. So, welcome, friends, to the first Friends of IIFM talk of 2025. For our guest this evening, Dr. Amit Mallick. The Friends of IIFM lecture was initiated in 2023, and we have been getting eminent people to talk to us, to the alumni community of IIFM. IIFM, since you are an IFS officer, you know IFM very well. It doesn't need any introduction, thankfully, because many times we have to introduce IFM. So our alumni is more than 2,000 strong, and they are spread across several sectors, including startups, enterprises, forest departments, government, consultancies, NGOs, development organizations, then donor agencies, all kinds of organizations you will find in IFMite. And today is the 44th foundation day of IFM. So in the morning we had an event which was conducted by one of your colleagues and my batchmate, Dr. Ravichandran, and I think he's from the Agmut cadre. I think you know Ravichandran quite well, yeah.
He's the present director.
He's the present director, yeah. And since he has taken over, the institute has really looked up and is innovating and adding more courses, and has become a deemed university. The Alumni Association is not very old. It's about 6 years old, and we are still finding a way, trying to bring people together and do things together. It's a networking platform also. We support each other in several ways. And one of the activities of the association is to hold a monthly lecture. Sometimes we fail to do it because we can't find a suitable person to talk to. But since I have known you, I have been thinking about getting you as one of our guests. And we are very grateful to you that you've agreed to talk about a subject which is dear to all of us. And but there have been, particularly with the Cheetah project, there have been some misgivings, in the sense that there are fundamental questions which at least I had in my mind, which is whether we should actually transplant cheetah from another geography to India. But there must be some reason and compelling reasons. And initially, when the project seemed to be failing and there were lots of deaths, the skeptics raised their heads. But yesterday only we read that 2 more births have taken place. So that shows that the population has stabilized and the project is moving. So we want to learn about that and other things that the Big Cat Alliance is doing, and your experiences and everything else. I don't want to take time away from Ratul, who has very kindly agreed. He's also an MRM alumni of IIFM of the 2006 batch, who works in this area and has kindly agreed to conduct today's evening program. So I hand over to you. So as I explained, you can he will take you through the evening, and you can make your presentation. And I think you have worked with him to ask questions in between. But after your presentation, we will invite the audience to ask questions, and we hope to end in an hour or so. But we can extend it by about 10 or 15 minutes if there are more than the normal questions. So with that, I thank you right away once again for agreeing to join us. For others, I just want to tell you that Dr. Amit Mallick is not only a very distinguished Forest Service officer who recently retired, but a very good friend of mine. And I think it is because of friendship he has agreed to join us this evening. Over to you, Ratul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, it's an honor to introduce Dr. Amit Mallick from the Indian Forest Service, and also a senior director with WWF India. So, so Dr. Mallick, I think he has about over 30 years of experience in forest and wildlife management. And I hope my fellow alumni have reviewed his profile, including in the flyer. And without further delay, because Mr. Chakravarti has been saying all about that today's topic, and let's begin to the discussion on securing the global future of big cats. Over to you. And before that, I just wanted to introduce the topic also, and to have to kickstart. I know Mr. Malik has slides and has a about you will be also introducing the big cat. But what we also would like to understand is, see, the India's tiger conservation journey is a global success story, with the Project Tiger boosting the numbers from I think about 1400 in 2006 to 3000 today, and it houses 70% of the world's wild tigers. And when we think of the key strategies which was incorporated since 1972, the protected area management, the anti-poaching laws, the community engagement, and the technology-driven monitoring. However, I understand also we have successes, but there are also challenges. And India balances the conservation with development. The future of big cats depends on the habitat connectivity, as I was also saying, and the global cooperation and sustainable policies. And we also would like to have this discussion where India is exploring these achievements, the challenges, and innovative solutions to secure the future of the tigers and other big cats worldwide. And that's the reason the International Big Cat Alliance is now at was a treaty some days back. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ratul. Thank you, Sandeep. I think I would rather say this is a privilege, and I think uh, it's not that I readily agreed or something like that, but it's really a privilege to speak to, I think, uh, people who are already learned about forestry and wildlife. And I'm sure uh, uh, I have some slides, but I think apart from that, I think we can always have discussions on, even on the cheetah front, what you said. I think I would beg to differ, and I would like to, I think, give you the perspective of the Project Cheetah as well in between when we talk about cheetah. So I'll just share my screen. No, it's not. Ratul, is it not yet?
Not yet. So,
The make. I think it's coming now. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
is there?
Hmm?
Yeah, is there? No,
But
again, it just
It
so
was
you
no,
there.
started. It was
no.
almost there. It was almost there.
Mm, came in, but
Yeah.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
try again. Yeah.
It is. There it came. I think your your home screen came. So now you have to open the presentation.
Okay.
Project Cheetah. I think it's right there.
It's not Project Cheetah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's there.
Slide number दबा दो.
Full screen.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
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 So, so
Exactly.
you are on.
How do you take this out?
So you need to click your keys on the left, right. Yeah.
That's okay, but this I'm getting this on my screen. Just a minute. Sorry for that, but I think it's again.
There, we can see it.
We can see your screen, sir.
But I am.
No, you won't be able to see us while you present.
No, no,
You
I'm not
can't
able.
see us.
I'm not able to see my screen. So just a minute. Yeah.
You will be only able to see the presentation.
The only thing
You
is
can't see yourself. You can't see yourself.
there is another screen coming in between. So
Ah, yeah, there it is.
We can see. We can
but
see.
on my
So,
screen, I have a couple of.
do you want me to?
Yeah, I think you share because there's some
Done.
overlap on my screen. Can you please open? Sorry for that.
Sure. Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, can you go to the first? I
Yeah.
have still something has popped up on my screen. To stop mine. Yeah, I think it's fine now. Okay, so the first, I think just go back to the first one. Okay, sorry for that glitch, or I think that normally always would happen. So I would today, I mean, I'm just putting the presentation first speaking about big cats and global big cats. So we're talking about 7 big cats, which is primarily would cover most of the landscapes across the world and right from the Americas to Southeast Asia. And the purpose of this is, and I'm also running you through those because even though we may be knowing about it, but then trying to put a perspective on the the importance or why do we why do we need to actually secure these big cats and what are we doing? What India has initiated about it. Next, please. So I think the emerging concerns or challenges, which I may put it uh, on that way, is I think all of us know that these are apex predators, and the concept of flagship species conservation, that is the Project Tiger, is one of the most successful conservation projects ever launched on this globe. I think nobody can deny that. So I think the concept of going by the flagship species is one aspect for biodiversity conservation, and I think which is required because the various cats are at various threat levels across the world. Envisioning these concerns for conservation of big cats is one thing which is important today, and I think that's beginning to that is beginning to get attention. Uh, Poaching still continues for body parts, derivatives, and that is one concern which countries would need to work together. And that is one of the reasons which decimate the wildlife population, not only the cats, but rabies and all kind of things. Now, the another aspect is the rapid development which is happening and transformation of the landscapes, which has actually led to fragmentation of habitats, and this is one area of great concern because in a country of 140 billion, I mean, we in India, and with 4,000 tigers, I think that is some magic which is happening. But still, we need to see now in the long run, which the way forward, where I'll be just speaking as to what are the things we need to look at this stage. There is also the approach of landscape level conservation. I think that is very much known and very easily used, which is much difficult because there are a lot of interagencies, there are a lot of stakeholders who come into play when we say that. And a tiger would definitely would move and pass through thickets, nalas, farm farmlands, and would reach long distances. But securing these passages is important, not by declaring PAs or anything, but the awareness which is required for doing so. Of course, this is all for securing the ecosystem services which are ultimately coming out. I mean, we are talking about the apex predator, but the whole ecosystem, right up to the people who are who dwell in and around these forested areas get benefited or are of our concern. Now, the big cat range countries, if you're talking about, do facing a lot of gaps in terms of expertise, tradecraft, uh, managing their the wildlife in different levels, and that is where I think we need to engage and help each other. There is, of course, strengthening very systematic institutions in for capacity building is again important, which grows across the board. If you're talking about whether it is India or whether it is any other country for that matter, we do have to have suitable financing for doing all this, and that is if you are really wanting to put in efforts for conservation, there has to be funding as well, which the sovereign governments or others will have to help in doing so. uh, there is a lot of innovative good practices being done. State of the art technology is available, and all these things need to be put in use for meeting with these challenges. And of course, protection and enforcement has to be there. Apart from, as we all know, that India today, as foresters, we were doing policing till the 90s, and I think we have now into a participatory mode of management, and that is what has worked. And there are a lot of models which are there for emulation. Next, please. Yeah. So I think quickly the big cats. These are the 7 big cats which I'm quickly going to just touch upon very fast. And basically, we need to envision the multi-dimensional role, as these big cats are indicators of an ecosystem. So I think each one of them are important in their own landscapes or indoor habitats where they dwell. Next, please. So I'm just going quickly with each of the species. I think if we're talking about tigers. I think we all know that tigers, now out of the 9, only 6 species are surviving, and they are in 13 tiger range countries. However, I think they are at different levels. I think more than 70% of the wild tiger population is in India. And if we say that, I think apart from Nepal, Malaysia is making efforts, Bhutan is making efforts. I think tigers in other countries, a lot of effort will have to go in to recover back the species. I think historically, tigers were widely distributed. I think I'll just show you the map. But today, the scenario is much different. The the number of reasons where the tiger numbers face, tiger populations are facing anthropologic pressures and challenges is because of, again, development, poaching, and the prey base, the habitat suitability, etc., etc. So I think it is next, please. It is important that the focus continues, and these are the 13 range countries where you find the tigers now. Next, please. And if you see the map, this was the orange color is the historic range where tigers were there. But however, the present range is limited to only the yellow which you see now. So I think this is a matter of great concern, and I think a lot of efforts already are being done. We have platforms where I think we have Global Tiger Forum, which is a intergovernmental uh, organization which actually focuses on tiger recovery. And apart from that, the National Tiger Conservation Authority in India also plays a big role in talking to its counterparts across the tiger range countries. Next, please. Talking about lion, again, we are all aware that I think the Asiatic lion is just limited to Gir, Gujarat, with about 700, and the African lion, of course, again limited to the African subcontinent, and of course they do have about 20,000, they say. But again, there is a lot of pressure. There is, I think, if you are talking about the African subcontinent, the management is quite into conservancies and not like what we have in India in open, free ranging conditions. Of course, their parks are huge, but then most or many of them are all fenced, and so that is, of course, a difference. So lions occupy, it's a matter of concern, occupy only 8% of their historic range today. So I think that is that speaks for itself. It is also again in the endangered category of the IUCN Red List. Major threats again, same. I think depleting habitat, prey base, human wildlife conflict, poaching, hunting, illegal trade. I think these are common to, I think, all the big cats. Next, please. This is I think the 34 range countries. So you see, apart from India, which where the Asiatic lion is there. So next, please. I'm going a little fast. If Ratul, anywhere you would like to stop me, you can always. If you see again the historical range of lion, I think if you see the red is spread all over, including India. If you see for the right from Persia to for the Asiatic lion, and now it is limited to Gujarat there, and I think in the African subcontinent also, if you can see. So I think this is a matter of great concern that the historical range of these species have where the lion was there is absent today. Next. Talking about leopards are very versatile animals, as we all know, and they survive in Africa with the lion, here with the tiger. But still, I think there are even though this species is very adaptive to a variety of habitats, but still the populations are not that large. I think as per our fifth cycle, we had about 13,000. That is in tiger bearing areas we had done. So it would be a little more than that, but I think it is not a very big number because leopards also do play a great role within their niche, and it is important to have the populations in their in the habitat. they also face a declining trend because of the poaching or conflict situations or I think hunting. So these things again are a matter of concern for managers or for conservationists or for people who would, for biologists, ecologists, scientists. So I think this is again, next please. This is again, even though you see the leopard range countries very large, but then if you see next, if you see the distribution, then again the historical range is the light green one, and the current range is the dark green. So if you see the spread, they're not everywhere. So even though we have a lot of conflict situation and reports in India, especially in the hills and many other places, but then that is it's not that they are that large in number. Next, please. Jaguar. Jaguar is again among the big cats is the third largest cat. Tiger, lion, and then the jaguar, and it is distinct as we know. And it is a typical. It's a master of hunting in marshy areas and water. It can hunt crocodiles. I mean, very easily. So I think again, even though you find them in the Americas and South Americas, it is again a species which is again under threat and does need to, even though the numbers are high, they are about 1,70,000 plus, but then again they face they're limited to the Amazon rainforest areas, and it also requires attention from the point of view of the role it plays on the ecosystem where it dwells. Next, please. Again, we have about 18 range countries where they occur. Next, please. Again, if you see the Americas, the dark orange is the present range and the light is the historical range. So if you see the South Americas, I think it is just restricted towards the north, and South America again, it's again limited only in a limited linear area as well. Next, please. Cougar again referred to as the mountain lion as well, and thus I think cougar also we don't have the estimates. Again, there is also a problem. We do refer to the world estimates based on IUCN numbers, but then these numbers sometimes would not be actual. Uh, Maybe for reference we do, but if we have to go in for recovery of the animals or knowing the animal, then we need to do total assessment of habitat, prey, and also the species in target species in question. So the cougar as well is under a lot of pressure and threat because of again habitat, and it's also subjected to poaching as well. So I think these the it also requires equal amount of attention when we talk about the whole of ecosystem or the habitat. Next, please. So they are again limited to 23 range countries. Next, please. If you see so they're limited to the North American, South Americas. So the current current range is in orange and the historical range is in green. So again, you see they are again limited to only only a small area where they dwell now. Next, please. Snow leopard, highly elusive and I think one among the rarest. And is really of this species is really of concern. I think even though we have about 4,000 in the wild, 4 to 6,000, but I think India is I think about less than I think about 1,000. So this again, the habitat is a very difficult. I think high altitude ranges where it is also difficult to very difficult to monitor the animal, but it is subjected to a lot of poaching and illegal trade, which happens for especially for its skin. We know very well. The even the markets and the demand where it comes from. So I think this and it is built for those high ranges. I mean this as per the IUCN status again it's vulnerable. So a lot of focus needs to be there. India also has a project Snow Leopard under which the high altitude ranges have been surveyed, and I think the ministry does give focus. But since these areas are not, many of them are not PAs, protected areas, so therefore it becomes all the more difficult to uh, actually monitor or do protection activities or do habitat management activities or monitor the animal. Next, please. Again, snow leopard is again limited to these 12 countries. Next, please. The present distribution, if you see, is again spread over. I think I couldn't gather much information. Again, I think we need to really focus on this particular uh, big cat. I think the snow leopard, because the habitat in which it dwells is much different than all the other cats, and the terrain in which it dwells is definitely much different. Next, please. Cheetah, I think uh, uh, cheetah, as we know, is limited to the African subcontinent now. Iran just has about 12 or 14 in the wild. That is the Asiatic cheetah. The I'll take a little time to answer to. I think I'll also touch upon what Sandeep was telling about Project Cheetah, which India has launched. I think the whole the population in South Africa was built over a period from taking taking the source population from Namibia. They lost about 200 plus animals and took about I think 12 years to 15 years before they could establish. Now, when India did sourcing, I think we have the action plan. I think many of you may be knowing and may go through. A lot of things have been touched upon, and we've done a little bit of homework before the project was launched and before the cheetahs came in. So for the sourcing, I think we had the 10 best genetists in the world who have actually advised us about sourcing of the cheetah, because the Asiatic cheetah, as per the IUCN guidelines, we don't have in the wild, and as per the guidelines, you can take a subspecies, and this was the closest which we could bring in. Now, the deaths which had happened, we had brought 20 cheetahs, 12 from South Africa, 8 from Namibia, and I was privileged and lucky to be part of this whole project, right from the Supreme Court clarificatory, I mean, orders being sought, and right up to the cubs which were born the first litter or the first few litters. So this, when they came in, actually it was winter there and the summer here. So they had put in the summer coat, winter coat, sorry. And because of the tuft which they have on the shoulder, they had a lot of tick load, and because they can't lick this portion, so because of scratching, they had bruises, and then there's a lot of maggot flies laid eggs, and maggot activity happened. We lost two of them, and by the time we realized, and at that point we had about 14 cheetahs in free ranging, and we had immediately got them. Immediately means it took about more than a month to actually bring them back. It's a Herculean task to, you can imagine, to, even though they were collared, but still to bring an animal dart and bring them back. They were treated. And let me tell you one thing, that what we saw, that the tick load, different individuals, it was different. Some didn't have any any infection at all. Some had more, some had little, because the immune system, I think, individually, all of us differ, uh, have have better, low, medium. So I think that was regarding, and this was not anticipated even by the Africans or any of the vets or anything like that, because ticks are even there. And we do have ticks here. It was not because of the collar or anything, but it was because of the change of season, and the the prevailing season here and the prevailing season there. Coming to, I think we've done it. We are doing it very slow and steadily, and I think it is in stages. So lot of there are school of thoughts about how we are managing it. Are they captive or are they free ranging? So a lot of things have to be taken into account. We've done it in phases. They are again going out. We have one litter of four males with a mother. We've been released, and as you know that, I think in cheetahs, the male coalitions hunt together, and they stay together. They had interface with leopards, but they have either way they have chased each other. So I think the project, what I would say is, maybe on some other occasion we can talk at length on the whole project. But there are whispers of very positive hope for this project. It's too early. I think nothing less than 10 years before we can actually see. It is just the third year, and already we are, I think, making a lot of progress. So let's wait and watch before, I think, we can comment. Next, please. Ratul. Yeah, so I think cheetah range is, of course, now India is included in that. Next. So if you see the range present day, the dark orange or yellow, and if you see the historic